harvested some beautiful wild cranberries right here in Maine. And we got some oranges, and we got some frozen things I found at the bottom of my freezer. I think they're ptarmigans. We're gonna make something delicious on today's Catch and Cook Kitchen. Wild cranberry catch and cook. It's a little late in the year, so either some birds or somebody bigger has gotten to these cranberries, and I was able to find just enough to do our really special recipe today. This orange glaze, cranberry glaze, is gonna be awesome all over our little ptarmigans, and hunting season's just around the corner and for the small bird stuff. So I figured we gotta eat some of this stuff that's in the freezer. We're not gonna let it go to waste. And these are super frozen, so how are we gonna do this? I've watched an episode of this guy's YouTube recently where he talked about frozen stuff being better.
Cook from frozen. It's faster, juicier, and safer. Your freezer's not just an appliance. It's a pause button for the freshness of food. So the faster we freeze or thaw meat, the less time there is for water migration or recrystallization to occur, resulting in juicier meat.
And we're gonna put it to the test. We're gonna fry them up real quick, and then we're gonna put them in the smoker. So after the outside shell has been fried to hold in the juices, we'll smoke them, cooking them in the smoker until they're ready to go, and then cover them with our cran orange glaze and have a delicious little snack. Let's see what we could turn this all into. First thing we're gonna do is fry these guys up, so let's get the oil hot. Let's see, now that we're at 350, we're ready to drop our little fellas in. We'll drop our little grouse ptarmigans or whatever the heck. They look like the size of pigeons, is what they look like, but we'll pop those in there, and if this works, this is gonna be a game changer for frozen stuff in the freezer. I never like eating the frozen stuff out of my freezer. I'd rather have fresh, but if it means I could take it out that's frozen and I have to remember it in advance, and then I can just toss it, deep fry it for a second, and then, you know, cook it in an air fryer or an oven so some of that grease drops away and it adds more flavor to it, this is gonna be epic. Definitely scary. Make sure you have the right amount of oil. You ever seen those YouTube videos where people are putting turkeys in and it turns into a house explosion and the house burns down? Yeah, make sure you know what you're doing there. So we're just doing about 60 seconds. That should do it. Crisp up the outside. Throw that in. Throw them on. And that'll tell me when it's up to temp, 160. I don't know how long that's gonna take, but we'll keep an eye on it through the app on the phone. While that's cooking, we'll work on our sauce here and our, oh, I almost did this in the wrong order. I want to warm up my sugars first. So, for sugars, we're gonna go with a little bit of natural cane sugar. If you know me, we don't use a lot of measuring spoons. So there's a pile of sugar, trying to match what's there.
I don't know, you figure it out.
A bit of maple sugar that turned out a little bit on the hard side because I cooked it too long when I made it. From my own trees, my own property. So another little aspect of our catch and cook added to it. And that's what happens to maple right there when you overdo it. We're going for the trifecta of sugars here. Make this nice and sweet, so we're adding some honey too. Ooh, I wish I had some hot honey. You know what? We got a solution for that. Some of these flakes here from the Firestone flakes. Throw some of those in there. It's gonna be a hot, sweet glaze. And then, because it's kind of a seasonal type thing, we'll go with a little star anise. Oh, that licoricey smell to it. Throw one of those in there. And a couple of cinnamon sticks. And 2 cinnamon sticks. Add a little bit of lemon. I know it's a orange thing, but we're adding some lemon. We'll add the zest of 1 orange and the juice of 1 orange. All right, once those sugars have all melted and they're all mixed together, we can add our cranberries, which I'm doing lightly because there's still a lot of sticks and stuff at the bottom because I wasn't super picky about how quick I pickied them. If you're doing a bunch of these, there may be like blueberries, you could probably float them and see if there's some gnarly ones, but I've never had a problem with just cooking them all. Cranberries are fairly resilient and fairly fall friendly, like they last quite a bit longer. So if the people haven't been picking them up, they're pretty much still there after frost. Turn it down to low and let that all simmer. You hear little popping sounds? They're busting open. Now that they cooked down a little bit, I'm just gonna mash them up, get those juices all mixed in. Let's give it a little taste. That's spicy and sweet and really good.
Are you okay? Because you're sweating pretty profusely.
Yeah, no, I'm fine. I always react this way to spicy food.
Load up our squisher. Let's see if we can squeeze some of the syrups out of it. Oh, that looks awesome. Look at that. I didn't cook this down for a huge amount of time, so I'm sure there's still a lot of really delicious flavor stuck in the berries. So we're not gonna go too crazy smashing it. It's the first time I've ever done this. Last time I actually just made the cranberry sauce and had it on my meat and things. So I am very excited about this. Pour that into our orange. Oh, minus the star anise and the cinnamon, we will take the rest of our paste and put it into our container. Oh, and our notifications go up. The birds are at 165.70 here, so we better get down there. Plug that. 170. Let's see how we did. Ooh, these guys are looking good. They do have a couple bruises on them. You can tell where they got shot.
I started blasting. Bang!
Wow.
Bang! I've been shot.
Ooh, oh, that smells so delicious. And I guess we'd put some fresh ones in for the thumbnail, but I mean, we could go back to, where's our jelly stuff here? Put that right there. And we need tools. We need tools. Where's your hardware? And let's just see how we did. It's definitely some sort of little small wild bird. Look at this meat here. It's almost purple. These little birds sometimes they taste kind of livery. They're in a slight way, which I like personally. Look at how purple the meat is on this thing. Just dip it in our glaze. Oh, forgot to say grace. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Lord. That is so delicious. And thank you to our friend who dropped these off. I can't remember who it was, actually. Now they've been in the freezer for 1.5 years. Or might have actually been 2 years. It does not taste freezer burned. It doesn't taste as, lame as something that comes out of the freezer. That tastes really good. That is super juicy. That turned out, let's see if all the cuts are like that. It does taste like it needed a slight touch of salt though. And I did forget to add that to the cranberry sauce. A little splash of salt. We'll go with another slice of meat off of this little guy. It feels weird cutting such a little tiny bird. It almost looks a little bit like steak, how red this is. Oh, just get that in the sauce. That is really good. That cranberry sauce, I did make it really spicy. I really love it though. I love it. Scoop of our cran orange preserves on top and just really go to town. So amazing. Once again, best thing I've ever cooked. I feel like every meal I make, it's just the next best thing I've ever cooked. So there you go. A couple of wild cranberries, some oranges from the grocery store, a little star anise, a little bit of maple syrup I made myself on my lakefront property. And you got yourself a beautiful glaze to go over some wild game. And even though it was in the freezer for almost 2 years now, the date keeps getting longer. The more I think about it, it might have almost been 3 years. The better it gets, apparently, because I fried those suckers, put them on the smoker, cooked them till they were done through, and those are the juiciest little wild birds I've ever had. So, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys in the next one. Fowler out. Oh, look, like I get a little leg. If I could just find the spot. There we go. All right, look, I get a little drumstick with the little foot still on the bottom. I'm gonna put a little bit of sauce on there. That's so good. Only problem is, it's not big enough to share. So, we'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Fowler out.